Hello and welcome to Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel every day in the month of October. It chooses the horror movie and they discuss it. Today we're talking about the 1975 film The Rocky Horror Picture Show, which was directed by Jim Sharman. I'm your co-host Alec.
I'm Eric, and with us again is Kelly Harper. Kelly, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me again, guys.
You were with us on The Lost Boys last year, and then there's really nobody else, again, that I can think of without thinking of you for this film.
Well, thanks. Thank you.
Really quick, there's one story that I just wanted to bring up before I forget. Kelly, your family, and I don't know if I'm like losing my mind, but your family did like a haunted house one year and you dressed up as a character from this and you opened the door, right?
Oh my gosh, did I dress up? Yeah, no, I remember doing the haunted house because my parents still hold that over our head. Like, do you remember when we loved you so much that we let you do this? So that I remember, but I don't remember what I dressed up as, but you're probably right.
I remember very vividly that your house was like a walk-through haunted house that you made and you like decorated it and you opened the door and you're like, hello, like I don't know if you were Dr. Frankenfurter or who you were, but you opened the door and then I was like, this is awesome. I think we were probably like 14 maybe. We're pretty young.
Yes, no, that's definitely true. I don't think I was him. I was probably like a version of one of the Transylvanianness people. That would
Right.
be my best guess. Wow, that's so funny that you remember that.
I remember that too. I was actually going to kick the podcast off with that exact same thing. It was like, I remember your family, your parents did like the epic haunted house walkthrough in high school or freshman year of high school.
Yeah, we did that when I was in middle school before I moved to Avon. We did that there in our other house too. And I just wanted to do it again. My parents were like, okay, well, like, you're the new girl. Are you sure you want to be known as the person that converted their house to a haunted house when you moved there? I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I want to be known for. And here we are almost 20 years later, right?
Oh my God, we're not that old, are we? Are we that old? No.
Almost, yeah.
Wait, yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God. It is almost 20 years. Holy shit.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah.
That hits hard. That hits hard.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, Kelly, how does somebody of that age, and I'm assuming younger, even get into this movie? How did you see this movie?
That's a great question. So I hurt my back. So I'm here alone. My husband's traveling. So my parents come over tonight to make me dinner. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to be on Eric and Alec's podcast. I have to watch Rocky Horror Picture Show again. And they're like, that's so crazy. We've never seen it. And I'm like,
What?
Mom, Dad, you've never seen
Stop.
Rocky Horror Picture
Stop.
Show. And they're like, no. I'm like, guys, like, Dad, all you watch is sci-fi horror B films.
Double features. Like,
Yes, and I'm like, "Mom, all you watch is, like, old school movies, musicals." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And then they're like, "No, you've seen it?" I'm like, "Did we live in the same house?" Like, I'm so confused. So I actually don't know where I saw this because my parents had never seen it. My parents watched it for the first time tonight with me.
shut the front door.
That's a true story.
That blows my mind because I would figure your parents got you into this and that's why you started watching it at a young age. But like,
No.
do you remember the first time you watched this?
I don't remember it because I don't know where I would have even gotten my hands on it. It's not like I went to Blockbuster and picked it up. Like, I don't know where I saw it.
Yeah, it's rated R. So, I mean, like, and you were definitely 13, 14-ish. So, like,
Yeah.
and you must have seen it and liked it enough to want to dress up and do this. So it's like,
And my mom was just like, "That's such a cute outfit," with, like, no questions asked when I was 13 years old. I'm so confused.
Eric, when did you see this?
I saw this probably my junior or senior year of college, my first time. One of my college buddies, his girlfriend was intensely obsessed with this film. And we'd be at a diner. I remember it vividly, and Meatloaf was playing in the background, and she would just be like, "Oh, Meatloaf, you ever see Rocky Horror Picture Show?" And it's like, okay, this is what we're going to be doing for the next 4 hours. And we were talking about it in a diner. Of course, we get our food, we leave, and we go home, and she like forces us to watch it. And yeah, that was my first time watching it. It was a little forceful, but I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
What about you, Alec?
I'd never seen it. I'd never seen it until last night. I watched it
Really?
the first time.
No way!
I know.
Wow.
Yeah. My mom apparently is like obsessed with it too, but like she never showed it to me and just slipped through the cracks. But you know what? I'm glad I saw it at this age because, well, even if in my 20s, like Eric, your age, I would have liked it. But I think if I saw it when I was a kid, I would have been like, this is like way too out there for me. But now I see it and I'm like, oh, I can really appreciate this. I actually love the music. I didn't know at all what to expect. I just knew Tim Curry was in it, and he was like a
He's
very
fantastic. Yeah.
eccentric character, and that's about it. I didn't know any of the
Yeah.
music. I didn't know anything, but I thought this was awesome. I mean,
Oh, how fun.
yeah, fever dream is the best way I can explain it. But
It's hard to compare it to anything else, right? Like,
yeah, you're right. But the plot you really can't compare to much else. And then also like the old man, they just cut to the old man telling the story and like where the hell did that come from? And then
That's
the
so good.
music. I still don't really know what the hell is going on, but I'd love to hear your your interpretation of it, Kelly. I mean, you're, the expert here. So what the hell is this movie?
Well, watching it again tonight, because I hadn't seen it in a long time, but so my parents had never seen it, so it was my first time watching it with them. I don't think my dad, since I turned it on from the time that he left the house, just didn't say one word. He was just, like, not interested. It was, like, literally just silence. And then my mom, who had never seen this before, so the first, what, 10, 15 minutes are fairly normal. So my
Yeah.
mom had never seen this, and she's like, "Okay, I get what's going on here. They're talking about these old movies. This is a very movie buffs movie. There's an old guy, he's smoking a pipe, he's explaining about movies. It's a musical. I get it. This is a movie buffs movie. I see what's happening here. I see where this is going. This makes so much sense to me." And I'm like, "Does it, mom? Does it make sense to you? Because you're about to not understand anything at all because I still don't get it." And then the scene where Tim Curry just unrobes himself, she just goes, "Jesus Christ," and just gets up and goes, "I'm going to make lasagna," and leaves the room. And I'm like, "Okay, bye." So I didn't really get their perspective on what was going on, but
Oh my
even
god.
just watching it tonight, I still don't really get it. Like, I get that it's all about actually, you know what? I don't know what it's all about
Yeah.
anymore because some of the things in there didn't really age well when I was watching it again.
oh
But I
yeah,
think
there's
it's
that, but
about being yourself, don't dream it, be it. That's the main point. But really, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
it tries to it gives like a tribute to the double feature sci-fi movies of all like everything. The Flash Gordon, the Invisible Man, like in the opening sequence, like they have
Right,
the lips that just kind of set it up like, we had all these double features like science fiction. We go to a movie, we see two movies. And it's just a big tribute. Like Rocky, the muscle man is like Flash Gordon with the
right.
Oh yeah.
like stuff like it's just like it's an all encompassing way to do like Frankenstein and
Right.
horror, sci-fi, and it was just like a way to just jam it all together into one movie and musicals too somehow. But shit, what is your favorite song from this movie, Kelly?
It has to be Time Warp.
Time Warp. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, that's a stand. I mean, I have two others outside of Time Warp.
Is that's like the biggest song though, right? Time Warp?
Yeah, oh, I
Yes.
mean, that's the most known. I mean, that's like a
Yeah.
huge Halloween song, like,
Right, right.
yeah. But "Sweet Transvestite," which is when he derobes, is such a classic song. I'm surprised that's not more like "How'd you do, I? So you've met my." I know the lines from that movie. I've seen this a few times too since college. The other one is the Frankenstein place. Like, there's a lie over at the Frankenstein place.
That was
Love that
hilarious.
song. I mean, the music's great. You got Meatloaf in it.
So
What
good.
a, but the Sweet Transvestite song, Tim Curry's performance in that song is out of control. Like the
Yeah.
dude is beyond acting. It's beyond the
Yeah,
time. It's like what is this
Yeah.
like entity?
He reminded me of, David Bowie kind of throughout the whole movie.
he's
Yeah,
just the
yeah.
David Bowie.
That's one comparison for sure. Beyond what we can think at the time. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god, this came out in 1975, like, could
Yeah.
you imagine, like it's like, okay, just got out of the '60s, like, things are starting to kinda calm down again, we got Nixon, and then
well,
this movie comes out, like
yeah.
but I like how they have that Nixon line or the radio playing kinda
Yeah,
thing
that
where
was cool.
Nixon resigning, and it's like, "Okay, now we're about to get back into freaky sort of stuff." Yeah, you're right there, like, that's a great performance. The opening song, though, I downloaded the opening song and the last song. I love the sad version, kind of. I love those 2 opening songs.
Like you mean the lips? Yeah,
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 I
yeah.
loved it. I don't know what it
Blood
reminded.
rains with the invisible man.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a David Bowie song that didn't get released or something. I don't know. I really like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's definitely London pop rock.
Damn it, Janet's awesome too. Like, damn it, Janet. And I mean, we can walk through the movie real quick. So the movie opens up on a wedding,
Yeah,
and it's like the cheesiness of laughs is like, Brad, you're next. Like kind of the laughs and the cheesiness. And then Janet ends up catching the bouquet, and it's like, well, now's my chance. I can propose to her. And he does it in a graveyard during a thunderstorm during this musical number with all these creepy farmers around them. But that's also Tim Curry and everyone else.
Yeah.
Right.
And they do that the painting of the American Gothic farmer and the wife painting, which is like you see that throughout the film. It's in the mansion too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Along with the Mona Lisa and other random, very famous paintings.
Yeah, and then like
Oh, yeah.
we don't see the narrator at the front of the movie like you would normally. We see the lips, then we see the scene, and then we see the narrator. Like, oh, Brad and Janet are gonna pop their tire and end up in an area that they're not used to. And like literally, it's like the narrator comes in 20 minutes into the movie almost.
Mhm.
So it's kind of weird. It's just all over the place, honestly.
Oh, yeah. No, it's
The whole
very
movie's
weird.
all over the
Kind of
place.
like this
Yeah.
podcast. We're all over this place. We're just jamming. But yeah.
Well, this movie is, yeah. Well, I just realized that, Kelly, you're right. There's just so many. There's Whistler's Mother. There's The Last Supper. There's
Yep.
what was the one we just mentioned?
The Mona Lisa.
The American Gothic is
Oh, The
yeah.
American Gothic. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, so then they get to the house, and then just from then on, they just want to use the telephone, and then the next hour, 2 hours, it's just them sucked into this world.
Well, so what is it? It's a Transylvania convention. So it's like an alien convention of aliens probably throughout the planet, I'm imagining, right?
That's an interesting one.
That's my guess. I don't know. What I'm not sure is whether they all came to visit or they're all already on the planet and then they all just I think they're all already on the planet and then they came there for the convention. But then did they all go back to the planet together at the end?
I don't know that, but I think it was Dr. Frankenfurter wanting to have a party to show off his experiment of
Yes.
making Rocky, the Frankenstein bodybuilder sex doll guy. and that's why he has everyone there, and like people aren't impressed. And he goes to Brad and Janet, and it's like, "What do you think?" It's like, "Well, I don't like too many muscles." Like, I don't ask you what you want. I think it's funny. It's just like this guy who's just, Dr. Frankenfurter is just trying to have people over, and he's trying to impress them, and no one's really impressed. Like, that's what it is. And then he gets mutinied, right, by other Transylvania people.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it sounds like I'm a crazy person saying this, but yeah, no, that's what the movie is.
So there's Rocky, and then before that there was Eddie, played by Meatloaf, who he kills,
Mhm.
and Rocky replaces Eddie. And then I think one of the women before that was like the original Eddie. So it's like it seems like he's making these people as his like sex partners, but then yeah, you're right, it starts to crumble.
He seems a little power hungry. Like he seems a little power. Well, he got jealous because Rocky was like dancing the Meatloaf song. He's like, "How dare you dance to his music?" and kills him.
So is that pretty much it, Kelly? Would you say? Is that pretty much the movie?
Yep, that's pretty much the whole movie in a nutshell, you guys. You guys nailed it. That's exactly what the whole thing is. It really is very confusing, and it's just trying to push everything together into one movie. So there's just so much going on, which makes it so fun and so outrageous and so amazing. And at the same time, everyone's just being themselves. So
Uh,
I don't think that like dissecting the plot is like the whole point of the movie. It's just supposed to be
No,
like
no.
enjoyable, which is like
yeah.
what the whole point of the movie is. Like you're just supposed to enjoy who you are and enjoy your life and have a nice time. Like people go to midnight showings for this dressed
Mm.
as whoever they
Well,
want to be and just do whatever they want to do. And it's not to like watch the movie, it's to be able to just dress crazy. Like I don't think anyone's
yeah.
going for the plot.
No, I mean that was my like trying to grasp it. But it's funny you say that because Barry Bostwick, I think his name is, who plays Brad, he's coming to New Haven October 25th for a 45th anniversary showing.
Oh my gosh.
So tickets, like you could buy tickets to see this and then meet him and all this stuff. But like you said, like this is one of those movies that like people love to see in theaters. Like
Oh my gosh.
love dress up, dance in the theater, all that stuff. So
Have either of you ever been to one of those showings?
I've always wanted to, but no, I have not.
No, I haven't either. But
Yeah.
my friend has gone to one in Cambridge and showed me pictures, and I honestly don't know if I would be able to go. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy. People
Yeah.
go really over the top. I don't think my makeup skills are good enough to be able to go there.
I think it won some award for being the longest, like, continuously running like theater show or something. It's like always in theaters at some point throughout
Mhm.
all year, every year since 1975, which no other movie can really do. So I thought that was pretty cool. I wanted to ask you guys too, though. Is there has to be a Broadway rendition of this, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, it started off on what's the Broadway version in England?
The West End?
Whatever that it's a musical. It started off as a play to begin with. So, it only
Oh,
became a movie after Tim Curry
Yeah.
was in the version
I
playing the same character on a run in, London.
I see that now. I'm so stupid. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I was in the West End of London in 1973, and then they made the movie in 75. Wow. Okay, so yeah, I was like the whole time watching this, I'm like, how is this has to be a musical on stage? And
Yeah.
I figured it would still be like when I was living in New York, I don't think I saw it once, like just advertised anywhere, and I was like, this would be perfect.
Well, they did Peter Pan Live and a few other like live shows on Fox or whatever. I
Yeah,
forgot what but they did this one
they
and they
did.
had someone playing Dr. Frankenfurter and a whole ensemble cast, but Tim Curry came back to reprise the not the role of Dr. Frankenfurter, but the narrator. So he
Okay.
was a
Oh, the
part of that as well.
finale.
I think that was about 5 years ago. So that was really cool to see him back into the Rocky Horror world.
How could they do? Because those are all on network TV when they do those live Broadway shows. How the hell could they put this on TV? Like on like NBC or something?
I mean, it's very tamed down. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
and also this is a 20th Century Fox film that now Disney owns. So is Dr. Frankenfurter a Disney princess? I don't
Oh my
know.
oh
Maybe
my
we can make that the thing. Stuff like that, man. It's food for thought for sure.
I think this is, to me, one of the original cult classics. I can't really think of an older one that has such an intense following. But, like, Kelly, have you met other people that, like, are as obsessed with this as you?
No, I was just alone. I was so alone that my parents didn't even know that I watched it. No, yeah, I don't know. I don't ever remember like watching with anybody either. I think that when you like movies that are that outlandish when you're young, it's like hard to like share them with people. And it's not until you're older where you're like, oh, wait, did you like that too? Where you like want to talk about it. Cause I feel like me being like, hey, did you guys watch this really insane movie? And then people be like, no, that's really creepy or weird. Cause I think you were saying too, Alec, that you wouldn't really get it when you were in high school, and I'm not saying that I was like, oh, I was so cool because I got it, but I think I felt weird that I liked it. So I didn't really talk about it that much. Does
Huh.
that make
Hmm.
sense?
No, absolutely. Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, there's a lot of strange movies that I liked as a kid, too.
No, but it's cool that you put it that way because like this movie has obviously a sense of community because there's so many cult fans and 45 years and still being in theaters year after year and doing these shows and people still go to see that. It's a community thing. And Kelly, you're like, I had no one.
I know. I just
I
think,
think of my parents. I had no one who liked this movie. I just liked this movie. So that's kind of a nice spin to the whole story, I guess. I don't know.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
well, now I guess everyone likes the movie. So now that's also a thing. But yeah, I don't remember having anyone that I like really talked to about it or anything like that. I just like thought it was fun. Like I loved musicals and I loved all the costumes and I just loved how like outlandish it was and just how like crazy it was and how it kind of really didn't make any sense. Like I just loved all that stuff about it, but it's hard to like talk about with people cuz like what do you talk about? I mean, here we are just being like I don't know, this movie's crazy. Like it's
It's
hard
like what
to really like connect with people on it other than just watch it and be like, "Oh, we both had this very similar weird experience watching this crazy movie."
it's like,
Yeah.
hey, like, I like your shirt. It's like, yeah, it's a Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's like, no, no. It's like, cool. It's like,
Oh
Right.
my
cool. You
god.
like that movie? It's like, yeah, I like the movie. So, yeah, every part of the movie. It's like, yeah, every part of the movie I like. It's like, cool.
Cool.
Like that's pretty much the conversation. Like, where do you go from there? It's like, do you want to get into the time warp? Do you want to get into like where do you go? It's such a bizarre movie to like talk about. I don't know. I like the music. That's my thing.
And that is probably, like, one of the main drawing factors is the music. The
Is
one thing about this movie that we need to talk about is just Tim Curry. I mean, just
Mm.
he's I'm, like, obsessed with him as an actor now, just to see this role and then everything else that's come after this, like, he's just so freaking good.
He's so talented.
Yeah.
Like that was actually the one thing that my mom did take away from it because we have a Sonos, so the music was playing in the kitchen while she was furiously making her lasagna, trying not to watch this movie. And she was like, that Tim Curry, he's pretty good. Like that was really great. He sang really well. he really played that role that he was playing that I don't know what it was, but he did it well. And I'm like, you know what? He did, mom. Thank you. Like this, he did a fantastic job.
I mean, good God, everything he's been in, even fucking Muppet Treasure Island, he sells it, like, you believe it. Eric, I forgot, he plays, the devil in Legend. How could I forget
Yeah,
that?
yeah, he's great in that as well, for sure.
And then and then Scary Movie 2, Congo,
The Wild Thornberries.
The Wild Thorn. Oh, yeah, and Ferngully, too.
Nigel Thornberry. No, the devil I remember when I was a kid, I saw Legend and I was like, oh my god, how tall is this actor? And he's like 5'9".
Yeah.
I was like, well, the devil, look at him, he's towering. He's like, well, he's on like high heels. He's like, really? But yeah, I remember that. Like he was I think Tim Curry's only 5'9", but he feels so much taller. Even in this movie, they make him feel so tall.
Well, he's
Mm.
wearing about 7-inch heels through the that helps.
True, very true. That definitely helps. True
You're
that.
right, though,
True
Eric.
that.
He does have, like, a big persona, and I
Presence.
think
He's
it's
got a
yeah,
presence, dude. That's the thing.
yeah,
That's the thing. Even in Home Alone 2, when he does the Grinch smile,
yeah.
oh man, that to me is crazy.
As I was watching this, I thought that same thing. I was like, if anybody could have done the Grinch besides Jim Carrey in the live
Oh yeah,
action one,
him.
I think it could have been him. He just has the ability to just really get into the
He had a
character.
pretty terrible stroke in 2012, I think, or 2013, that put him in a wheelchair for a while. But he's recovered. He's doing Comic Cons and whatnot now, and meeting with fans, which is really cool. And he's obviously done that Fox revival of Rocky Horror. But yeah, big Tim Curry guy. He's 75 too, so he's up there
Yeah,
right now.
Oh my goodness. What a
Yeah,
legend.
I know.
legend for sure.
When I was watching it this time, I kind of was thinking of Midsummer
Mm,
because when they came to this new place and then they were like, this is so crazy, like we don't want to be here, but then they just got sucked in and there's all this just like crazy people doing weird stuff. And then they're like, this isn't cool. But then like after a while, they're like, this isn't so bad. I just thought it was very
oh.
similar where like a couple comes to this like place. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I didn't think
Yeah.
of that like that, yeah, huh. Well, the ending is basically they do escape kind of, right? They get the wheelchair professor and they run out of the house together and then it just, like, explodes, but they're alive, right?
Yeah, they're alive and then they crawl away.
They let him go totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, was the entire purpose I mean, I know, like, the plots, it doesn't make sense, but is the whole point of it to basically just be like, "Well, I just wanna show you guys how cool this is because you could just use my phone right now and get the hell out of here, but while you're here, you gotta see this."
Pretty much, like, he wanted to impress them as well with Rocky, and then he had the Medusa thing, which turned people into stone, so he's just showing off, you know?
For sure, yeah, everything he did was for his own pleasure. He's the villain until the end when you realize that he's actually not gonna get away with everything, but everything he
Mm,
did was just because he wanted to do it. So he kept them there because he wanted to. He seduced them both because he wanted to.
Mm.
He did everything just because he felt like
oh,
it. I do feel bad for him at the end though, and he's like, "Oh, so we're all gonna go home together." And I get that that was just like his last plea to like not have him die, but
Mm.
then he didn't make
he
it.
he's just a sweet transvestite from transsexual Transylvania, so I just I feel for him. I feel for him.
I feel for
Ugh.
him too.
Do you guys think that Riff Raff I know and that I read nothing about this movie basically, but that's the guy that wrote it, is Riff Raff,
Yeah.
which I love that. I was like, "Oh, that's so cool." But, Eric, do you think that Riff Raff inspired the character from Scary Movie 2?
Oh, 100%.
150, yeah, 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 dude, yes, yeah.
100%.
Hello, what do you want?
All he needed was a little hand, and it would've just made it perfect, but he looks just like him, he's pretty creepy, he keeps saying master or whatever, and Tim Curry's in Scary Movie 2, and I was just like, "Okay, this is starting to make sense now."
He sounds
100%.
like Alan Rickman. Like to me, like whenever I hear Riff Raff talk, I'm like, it's Alan Rickman. He's just here on doing things, you know.
Well, like, there's gotta be a lot of references to this that I've just missed throughout my life. I mean, can you guys think of anything that's been like, "Oh, that's a spoof of, Rocky Horror Picture Show or taken from that?"
Animaniacs.
They used to make fun
No,
of
I'm
it?
just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I
oh.
just want to see your reaction. Like, really? Animaniacs? Like, no, I just wanted that. Sorry.
I think Family Guy had a joke called, like it was like, "Damn it, Janet" is the episode, and I think they might have made a couple
Damn it,
references to
Janet.
this, but I can't think of anything else because 'cause I'm like, it's so obscure, but there has to be other media that's parodied this at some point.
I don't know.
None that you can think of, Kelly?
Yeah, I don't know either. I feel like they name drop so much during this movie
Mm,
that maybe they're the ones that are parodying all the other ones.
Right. Yeah. Well, do you guys, aside from Tim Curry, have any favorite characters?
It's definitely Tim Curry. Although, I do have kind of like a soft spot for Brad because I feel like he was just so confused through the whole thing. Like, the thing that gets me so good is when they're literally undressing them and Susan Sarandon is like, "What is happening?" And he's like, "No, no, no, no. This is totally fine, guys. Don't worry about it." And then he goes upstairs and he flips out that you never let me use your phone. I'm like, "You literally just got naked and told your wife to not worry about it." Like, he's so confused. And like Tim Curry really got him good when he got both of them separately. And I feel like, just poor Brad. Poor Brad has no idea who he is. Poor Brad's so confused. Just poor Brad. And his name's Brad, so we have to feel bad for him about that too.
Oh,
Yeah, and
Brad.
Tim Curry seduces Sarandon, then Brad, and then he just wanted to seduce Rocky, but then Susan Sarandon seduces Rocky, and he just gets so mad, and that's when it all erupts. He's like, "I wanted Rocky, and now I don't have it." Like, that's how he was. And he turns them into stone statues, and yeah, movie's crazy.
If Tim Curry didn't do that second scene to Brad, I don't know if that Susan Sarandon scene would have played as well. I was watching, I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah, that did not age well at
n
all.
No, no,
no."
no, 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 no.
And then when he does it to Brad, you're like, "It's still not better, but it's, like, a little bit better."
That's exactly how I felt. I like turned to my dad who was just stoned, and I'm like, this is good.
God, I wish I could have been a fly on the wall for you and your parents.
Yeah,
Okay.
and there was Magenta, who was the Riff Raff's like other partner or whatever, and she shows up at the end with like the Bride of Frankenstein hair. I thought that
Yeah,
was pretty good too, like the maid kind of outfit. She was great. She was great.
Dude, I
yeah.
thought that was Cyndi Lauper the whole movie. I was like, "Oh, Cyndi Lauper's in this?" And then looked it up, I was like, "Oh, that's not her."
She
Yeah.
looks just like Isla Fisher.
Oh,
Isla
yeah.
Fisher.
She's from Wedding Crashers, Eric, the redhead.
Yeah.
Oh, Sacha Baron Cohen's wife. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know if this is true either, but I was looking up the cast today, and I think I must have this. But the Betty, the wife in the original wedding from like the first scene of the movie, like the wife of like just like the random wedding
Yeah,
in
it
like
was in
the
it
first
for
scene.
2 seconds,
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
that is the same woman that's on Love It or List It on HGTV.
What?
Well, yeah, I mean, me and Alec are big fans of loving it and listing it.
Yeah.
The biggest loving and listing it fan. So
I own the first 48 seasons on DVD.
I mean, I knew you guys would get the reference, so thank you. It really blew my mind.
that's kind of, I mean, that's cool. That's a cool,
Hey.
like, random, like, hey,
Yeah.
have you ever, like, the.
Yeah, it's like I was in Rocky Horror Picture Show. Anyways, do you want to focus on this, buy this house or whatever? It's like, yeah, sure.
Do you love it or do you want to list it? Do you want
That's
to love it or you
exactly
want to list it? Do you want to Rocky or you want to horror it? Come on.
Well, you guys got any last minute thoughts on Rocky Horror Picture Show?
damn it, Janet. No, I wish I had more to say that was one coherent thought, but I just don't really have one.
This movie does that to you, just kind of takes you all over the place.
But yeah, don't dream it, be it. That's all I was
That's
going
right.
to
Yeah.
say.
My actual favorite line, though, do you guys have like a favorite line? Because I feel like there's so many good one-liners.
No, nothing really stuck with me.
Oh, I know. Oh, I mean, probably the biggest line from this movie, aside from the whole time warp song, is the "Hope you quiver with Antici
Pation.
pation." That's the number one line from this movie. If I had to guess, right? Did I
Oh,
get
yeah.
that?
I think
I would-
so. But my favorite one is it's not easy having a good time. Even smiling makes my face ache. I love that line.
Oh my god!
Oh,
You know that GIF? You know that GIF or whatever of him like chasing Rocky down the stairs and like he like slams into the wall because he's so excited. You ever see that one?
No.
I'm gonna
nah.
send that to you right after this. I always send that to people like randomly when I'm like excited. Like it's just like, oh, how excited are you? I'm like, ah, like I'm gonna send it to you right after this. You're gonna love it.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, Kelly, thank you so much for coming on and explaining what it means to love this movie to us.
Yeah, no problem. I wish I had something deeper to say, but really, it's just about having a good time, you
Yeah.
know?
Definitely.
Huh. All right, well, what do you say spin that wheel, Eric?
Well, let's pull over the wheel. All right, let's do it. Spinning. Paranormal Activity.
All right. That came out right when we were like teenagers. You see that one, Kelly?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes. That was one of the first movies that actually really scared me, like, when it came out, other than, like, The Ring.
I guess we're gonna get to relive it tonight, Eric.
Oh yeah, see you tomorrow.
Well, thank you everybody so much for listening in, and we'll see you tomorrow with Paranormal Activity.
Woo!